Hello everyone. This week in Israel we read Parashat Shlach. And every year we tell the same story. The spies, the giants, and the weeping that became the tragedy of Tisha B'Av. We are still paying for that sin today. But the Torah doesn't stop when the spies die. The story doesn't freeze frame when God agrees 40 years of wandering in the desert. Because what happens the morning after your destiny is cancelled? How does a whole nation of people wake up, look at their children, and realize they're never going home? This is the story of what happened next. The morning sun rises over a broken camp, and from the weeping, a desperate faction breaks away, the Mapilim. They're not villains, they are heartbroken patriots who refuse to accept that they just lost. They strap on their armor and charge up the mountain in a panic. Moshe stands by the silent motion ark of the covenant, shouting that God is not with them, but they refuse to look back. The Holy Zohar explains that their love for the land was real, but their timing was broken. They tried to force open a massive spiritual light before they had the vessel to hold it. The frantic ascent ends in a brutal ambush. The Amalekites and Canaanites crush them on the slopes, teaching them the hardest way that destiny cannot be hot-wired through a panic. As the dust settles, a paralyzing silence falls over the wilderness. The decree is absolute. A dangerous, cynical whisper spreads through the tents. If we are doomed to die here, the covenant is over. The Torah no longer matters in exile. In the middle of this spiritual crisis, a lone man begins gathering wood in plain sight on the Shabbat. This is the wood gatherer. In the Talmud, Rabbi Akiva reveals his identity. He was Tzlofchad, a man deeply bound by his nation. The camp is in shock, but behind his actions lies a holy secret. The master commenters of the Tosfot explain that he committed a radical act of self-sacrifice, L'Shem Shamayim, purely for the sake of heaven. He saw his people slipping into apathy and knew that if they abandoned the Shabbat, the soul of the nation would die in the desert. He said to himself, I will openly transgress so that I will be executed, and the entire nation will see that God's law is still absolute and binding, even in exile. The Zohar adds that he mended the rift between knowledge and action, sacrificing his physical life so the nation's spiritual identity could survive the long decades ahead. From the heavy aftermath of the execution, the story shifts to healing. The answer to their despair comes not with a thunderous speech, but with a color. Out of the drab, washed out grays of the desert floor, a vibrant splash of deep indigo appears. An artisan carefully spins a single thread of tchelet, derived from the rare chilazon marine creature, and the people are commanded to attach it to the corners of their garments, the mitzvah of tzitzit. This thread becomes a visual letter. As Rabbi Meir teaches, why blue? Because blue represents the sea, and sea resembles the sky, and the sky resembles God's throne of glory. The spies had looked at the land with an evil eye of fear. The Zohar explains that this blue thread is a physical anchor designed to heal their vision and teach the human eye how to see through the lens of faith. As the people wrap themselves in their fringes, a grand picture emerges against the desert wind. A sea of blue threads fluttering under the sky, a fractured nation waving itself back together, ready to endure, ready to remember, and ready to return. Shabbat Shalom.